Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We are going to discuss the news that Harry Potter is going to be rebooted by Warner Brothers Discovery. Really crazy coming out of YouTube. Nothing is verified or has Warner Brothers even commented on this. See, I've taken out my green screen, kind of rearranged the video. My Harry Potter books are behind me, or should I say my boyfriend's Harry Potter books. And you can see it's on a bookshelf that's falling apart. Why? Because we're on a budget here, and these are from Walmart, and hey, they are not holding up. What can you do? But anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about the Harry Potter rumors for reboot. I mean, we all know that Hollywood, to be honest, loves reboot. But the question is this going to be successful? I think a lot of people are going to say, hey, reboots are not successful. But there are some examples of reboots that are successful. And I think it's important for us to actually take a look at those and discuss them, because there's King Kong, The Jungle Book, It, Freaky Friday, The Ring, Mad Max Fury Road, A Star is Born. And I think even out of those, you can also find other examples which are successful and yes, are controversial, but Disney has had success converting their animated movies into live action. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. I think the first most successful one was Beauty and the Beast, and then as other live action remakes occurred, a lot of people had feedback. I still have yet to watch The Lion King live action. I did watch Aladdin. I thought it was okay, but I actually was like, eh. It did seem a little smaller, at least the way it was filmed and everything. So I forget which other ones they did. I know Dumbo, which I have not watched. Since I have Disney Plus, maybe one day I'm just gonna, jump in and watch that. But yes, there are examples of reboots being successful. But is that a reason that Warner Brothers should do it? And will a Harry Potter reboot be successful? I say no, it's not going to be successful. And this is the reason why. And we'll go through it. I mean, the series of movies were all very well done. It's highly unlikely that the revisit of all the books will be as successful. I mean, that's a lot of books to redo, and a lot of it was done at the perfect time, which we'll get into. And I'm not sure if right now the scandals happening with J.K. Rowling and the mistakes of Fantastic Beasts and other things are going to equate to recapturing that. So let's leave well enough alone and really just try to move forward, because a lot of people still love Harry Potter. I like Harry Potter. I really want to visit the Universal Parks. And I mean, that's another thing, is like changing the aesthetic of everything. If the new movies do, how relevant are those Universal Parks going to be doing? I mean, as far as the aesthetic and everything, yeah, they'll say you could reface and re-update it with, more contemporary things. But I don't know. And maybe that's another reason. Universal's paying for the license of this, and the more you keep it messing up things, Warner Brothers, then it becomes less valuable for the park. But I still think that the Harry Potter is a huge draw for Universal. I do agree they need to find something else as well, but yeah, still a huge draw. Now, if this is true, I think it's definitely a cash grab. I mean, the aesthetic, like we were talking about, between the music, the story, the visuals, the books, all made this very successful. I mean, I watched the movies again because they were on Sci-Fi Channel and then Bravo, and then my boyfriend started reading the books again, and he wanted to watch the movies. And the special effects still hold up. The story still holds up. I mean, I don't know why they would make this decision, but I think they're looking at Fantastic Beasts and the failure of that. Fantastic Beasts' lack of success should not be influence on doing a reboot. Fantastic Beasts was more adult-oriented, and it didn't have the magic of Hogwarts. Not to mention, I guess the Fantastic Beasts movies were based off a guidebook of the same name, which was a textbook used in the first year of Hogwarts. So it really didn't have too much of a story, I guess, associated with it. And anyone could tell me if I'm wrong. That's what I found on the internet. All right. I mean, the main character and villain of the movie was not as gripping, right? I mean, there wasn't a build-up like Voldemort and all that. We eventually got Dumbledore in the story, but it was a little too late for the movies. I think that if they started off a little more connection, it would have been better. I think a continuation of the Harry Potter world is better, and bringing back some of the actors and building the world that we already know. There have been so many movies and theme parks like I talked about. Not to mention there's a new game coming out, Hogwarts Legacy, which has lots of hype around it. And by the way, I did see that you can actually make a transgendered character in it. Now, I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I read. That's a lot of change for them to actually do. If you copy the same design, music, and just change the actors, a lot of audiences are going to ask, why even do this? Now, if you steer too far away and it's not better than the originals, the audience is going to ask, why'd you even do this? And then have you tarnished the whole brand? Do you continue with 7 movies? I think that's a huge commitment. I think that's the wrong path. So why would Warner Brothers Discovery want a reboot? I'm asking myself, right? Because, again, this is just a rumor. We have no idea. I mean, one, yes, they want money. They tried cutting things left and right. And article recently indicated they're done with that. So there's going to be a time to invest. But from what I hear, they're kind of strapped for cash. I think that Warner Brothers is looking at DC and comparing it to the Wizarding World under the same lens, and this is where this rumor is potentially coming from. DC's rebooting one of Warner Brothers' large franchises. Wizarding World is also failing, so naturally, then I guess you reboot that one as well. I think that the two are very different, to be honest. I mean, at the start of DC, the movies, to be honest, even I'm a fan of DC, but they received not so great criticism. And I should clarify, I'm a fan of the cartoon series, and yes, the comics, but I didn't reach the comics too much, read them too much. I actually more enjoyed the cartoons and really the stories that were built through Superman, the Batman animated series, Justice League Unlimited, and Justice League, Batman Beyond. So I know them from there, and they were really great stories, and I always kept thinking, why couldn't they do this in live action? And then DC makes live action, and it's crap. Or not the aesthetic that I was looking for. I think it was a little too heavy, to be honest, at times. And sure, it could be a real world in that, but it was very doom and gloom, and it wasn't the Superman that I kind of knew. I mean, looking at Christopher Reeve's version in the movies and everything, and that I enjoyed. But I think that the repeated mistakes that DC had done had hurt them. There was no, over here I had the little screenshot of these Harry Potter movies, 1 through 7, right? All being successful and being a conclusion to this story that was well loved, both in books and in the movies. DC didn't have that. Every movie was criticized, and there were so many different Batmans and so many different directions we were going. And then the vague statements of we are connected under DCEU. Everything exists in the same world, but they're all different stories. Not connected, but connected. And I was like, what the heck is this? It's confusing, but I know what you're just saying. You're just trying to bullshit everybody into thinking that, well, yeah, this is exactly like Marvel. And the DC fans were drinking the Kool-Aid. I was hopeful each movie, and then I was basically being abused in an abusive relationship where he kept on saying, he's going to change. Well, DC did not change. And a lot of people are going to say, scandal that's around. I mean, DC has lots of scandal. The Ray Fisher, Joss Whedon issue there. You have Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is connected to both Fantastic Beasts and also DC with The Flash, but Ezra Miller has more of a connection with The Flash, and I know there's rumors that, they may keep Ezra Miller for there, and if they do, for DC, then that's kind of a moot point to say, like, hey, there's a reason why you need to reboot here. I mean, they replaced Johnny Depp as the main villain, and actually, I think the new guy actually works better. I'm sorry, Johnny Depp, for that. So I don't think that you can use scandal as an excuse because DC had the scandal. DC had a completely different scandal, and DC had lots of negative reaction around them. This is centralized to negative reaction for the Wizarding World around Fantastic Beasts, not the 7 Harry Potter movies. Just because you can't figure it out doesn't mean that you should completely redo everything. I think if you didn't go to the past and do whatever it was, and I know they say J.K. Rowling was heavily involved. To be honest, I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't read the books. I found the movies really confusing. There's so many characters. The more I watch it, I go, oh, it took me 20 tries, but I now understand it a little more. Maybe it will be the same with Fantastic Beasts, but I have less interest there. It doesn't feel as magical. It doesn't feel like a place that I won't want to be. And I think that's one of the things they should have thought about when they made those movies. And I think that's one of the things they should do before they consider a reboot. I think also there are too many fans of the original movies, or discovering the 7 movies that I have pictured here, to actually do a reboot. A lot of people have developed a close relationship and connection with this. I mean, it's different than doing an animated movie into live action. You can say, hey, completely different aesthetic. You still can have that and enjoy it. You know what? You don't like the live action? At least in my mind, I find it easier to kind of digest that if it's not good, the live action. I was like, oh, I can still watch the cartoons. And I think that also the actors can still, revisit this world. The original nostalgia is going to be very hard for Warner Bros. To replicate, to be honest, because at the time, the books were all the rage. Everyone was reading them. And then they announced the movie, and it was just the right time. Right now, we have the J.K. Rowling, scandal. We have the Fantastic Beast, like we were talked about. It's just not the right time to revisit that. We also have the release of Hogwarts Legacy. Why would you want to reboot everything when that game is being built up? So I'm hoping that this rumor is not true. Warner Brothers has not commented on it. I think we want to really just explore the world of Harry Potter and really revisit what made it so great. Don't go in the past. Add there. I think that also, I was thinking as I was looking at this rumor, I said, whatever happened to the Harry Potter TV show that was rumored? That would be great for HBO Max. Now, the rumor was that they had to wait because Universal, on their streaming service, owned the rights and distribution at the time with their agreement that they had for licensing to anything Harry Potter related. And I believe that's about to expire or has expired. So as this gets closer, you get these crazy rumors, but I hope that we're going to be like, oh, that rumor wasn't true. Guess what? It's actually a Harry Potter TV show. I'll be like, woo, that's much better. I'd rather go to Hogwarts, explore. I could have been thinking, like Voldemort, when he was defeated, there's still so many people that supported him and fought alongside him that escaped. I know that, for example, there's other characters that I got to read, like what happened to them after in their trials. Like, why don't we visit that and see if there's another baddie in this world or another evil? I mean, in a world of magic, there must be other dark magic and other people practicing it. So I don't think it's done, and you could explore that. So, my opinion, reboot? No, obviously, through this video. Let's try the TV show. Let's try a movie before we even discuss rebooting it. And even then, if you want to discuss it, I think you should just toss that mind or idea in the garbage. So tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think that Harry Potter should be rebooted? Do you agree with me that it's just another mistake around Warner Brothers? And if they're making all these changes with DC and trying to start fresh, and potentially trying to sell it to Universal. Is this such a good idea to destroy another IP? Like, hey, Universal, you want to buy this? I know you have the theme parks. Guess what? We're going to destroy the brand even further. Haha. Doesn't make sense. So tell me what you think. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Hit the notification bell to get notification of other videos as they're posted. And thank you for watching. I appreciate all the reviews and comments, even if it's just one person that watched. This is for my mental health. Going through a lot. This is a nice distraction for me. And I hope it is for you too. And until next time, stay safe and thank you for watching. Bye.